And good evening and welcome to episode 50 of Endless Banter. We are joined by myself and the big man himself, Mr. PH. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Thomas.
How are you? How's your week been? What have you had for tea? Facebook's down, so I know we're not going on Facebook. So anybody who's watching, share over to Facebook if you can, because I know the world is now ending due to Facebook is on its collapse. So how are you? How's your week been?
I'm pissed off, mate. Tonight, I cooked quarter pounders, chicken burgers, some fries, and some lettuce. I chopped the iceberg lettuce up, put it in freezing cold water to make it nice and crispy for the burgers. And I took a picture and I can't post it on Facebook. And I feel like I've wasted an afternoon of my
life. What was the one that you was going to make? What was it?
A Lego cake.
No, it was Rate My Plate, wasn't it? And then you mentioned one and you said you was going to do it. Score My Whore or something like that. So, can you post the picture up tomorrow? The question is, can you post your dinner plate up tomorrow?
No, because I didn't really take a picture. I was just pretending for all the begging people. Like, there's people at the gym this minute flexing and they check in and they can't check in at the gym.
There's people not going because they can't get on Facebook and not being able to get on Facebook all day. I'm telling you. I am telling you. So, how has your week been? Are you feeling any better? When are you going back to work? Did you really have that for tea, or are you currently finishing off your tea?
I did have that for tea, yeah. I'm just eating a Banter soft baked cookie in the fire.
Is it soft or is it hard?
No, they're soft, mate.
Proper soft. Soft centers or just all of it? We need to know how this biscuit is.
They're like,
oh yeah, they're definitely
bendy soft.
We've got macaroons in the cupboard. I bought some macaroons the other day, and I was like, I bought some the other day, and I was like, when I went fishing, and I was like, actually, I'm gonna get some macaroons. I got some. I shared some with Mum and Dad. Came back, and there were 2 boxes of the fuckers they'd been shopping. I was like, yes. So I kind of hinted about wanting some macaroons and come back to 2 boxes.
Need to make some.
So what's in there?
Homemade macaroons are down.
And Mum used to make some mad macaroon things. They're fire.
Flat or because you get the flat macaroons, don't you?
Like a jam tart.
Yeah.
When you put the stuff on, it's soft, like a thick paste, like an almondy paste. And then when it dries, mate, they were fucking badass. And I've never. There's Bluetooth there. You sorted it there.
No.
Maybe you got Bluetooth on it, should have.
Yeah, macaroons are the one. I mean, jam macaroons are also good. I like the fact that when the ones that are proper fluffy. That's what I like, the proper fluffy ones.
It's plugged in.
No.
That. Sorry, Tom. We're just trying to sort out the Bluetooth on the telly. It's the Tashkent Bluetooth AirPods to it.
No stress. Everyone can wait. They've waited long enough, so they can wait a few minutes more. So I hope everybody's doing well in chat. As I said, if you can share onto Facebook, we would appreciate it. I know for a fact Facebook is down at the minute, so we can't personally share. So if anybody can share, I hope you can.
Is Facebook still having an anxiety attack?
Yes, massively. So, Paul, we used to have a Land Rover update. Can we have a ribs update? Because I know you've been to the doctor this week, and I've not.
Let's have a Land Rover update.
I was like, just open a fucking can of worms. Oops.
I went to the doctor's on Monday.
First time you drove.
Struggled out of the house to drive because Tasha was too busy to take me.
Fuck off.
Bearing in mind I'd not long had painkillers, which makes me very drowsy.
I'll take you.
And I went into the car park at the doctor, and it was full, and it's tiny. It's like small car park. And then when I was reversing out, straight into the fucking gate, man.
No. No.
I forgot about it until she just mentioned it, you know.
Because I'm so pleased, right? I've been driving the car for 3 weeks.
And she's only took a chunk out of one time.
No, I didn't. Fucking tire.
I do apologise for opening up that can of worms. I really do. Has it been prepared from?
Fuck you, Tom. I went to the doctors and they'd done like checking my breathing with his stethoscope and whatever, and he was just saying that he's concerned about the airflow on my left side to my right side, which is down to the tear on the lung. But he was a bit like, why have they only give you a 2-week sick note? And I said, well, they offered me a 4-week sick note, but I said I only wanted a 2-week sick note to see how I was. And he was like, with the ribs, I get that. He said, but with the lung, normally they'll sign you off for 6 weeks because you need to get that lung repaired. And then obviously, well, it's ripped, you're prone to infection and whatever. So to sign me off for another 3 weeks, I've got to go and have a chest x-ray next week. And then I've got to go back to the doctors on the 1st of April. And then I'll either get signed off back to work on light duties or signed off again for another couple of weeks. And pardon me. It's a live burp for you right there.
But how do they find out if it's repaired or not? Because I think
you said when you put the stethoscope on your back when you're breathing, they can tell by the noise to do with the airflow. Like obviously, as the air's going into the lungs, there must be obviously they can hear better with that than they can just putting their ear against my back or whatever. But you said definitely there's a difference in the airflow, which means there's still a leak in the lung. But that's probably why I get knackered. Like literally, if I just lean forward to zip my shoes on or put my socks on or walk up the stairs, fucking knackers me bad.
That's me generally in life. But can you feel a difference? Can you feel your ribs are feeling better or anything like that?
Nah. I wouldn't say it feels as bad, but it's fucking pain since the weekend. We went shopping on Saturday. And we was out for a fucking fair few hours, went shopping, popped and seen Tasha's mum, popped and seen my mum, went home, and then since Sunday I've been fucked again. The other night, the night before last, I was like really had a mad pain. And it feels more localised now in one area. It's funky, I can't even explain it. It's easier for me to move, but it actually feels like it's like before I was saying to you, like if I'm sat here, I'm okay. If I move, it hurts. Like when I sneezed, it hurts, but actually the pain that I got when I sneezed is the exact place where I've got a pain now, but I can feel it all the time.
Right.
Which weren't there at the start. I don't know. It's fucking mad. Like my side and everything, all on my side here, on the actual side, but I fell on my back. But the doctor said it just could be bruising coming out, or he actually says could be, probably, maybe, possibly could be bruising. And I was like, are you a fucking doctor or are you just guessing, mate? I could have made that estimated guess.
Fucking hell. I'd have just laughed in his face. Bless you. At least he tried. He kept you calm.
To be fair, give me the tablets, give me my sick notes and fuck me off.
That's all you need. It's all you need.
But you know what? The doctor's surgery, like the waiting room, it's like having an overview. It's like going through or just skipping through Facebook with open profiles of fucking all sorts of weird people, man.
I did see you say a comment about how the doctors kick off when you're late, but when you're fucking 30 minutes late to an appointment, they're 30 minutes late to an appointment. That is so fucking true. It's unreal. They're always late and they kick off when you're late.
Saying if you're more than 10 minutes late, then be prepared to have your appointment rescheduled.
No way.
And I'm like, how can you put that up there, love? I've been sat here for 25 minutes, so they've been called through. It's like, yeah, we're running behind. And I says, I don't give a fuck. You got an appointment system. So if the person that's in there for more than 10 minutes is still whining and whinging and crying about the fact that fucking she's got discharge coming out of a fucking dirty clump or whatever the fuck's wrong with that, you should buzzer them. When the buzzer goes off at 10 minutes saying, fuck off, you need to make another appointment there. It's a fucking doctor surgery, not an agony aunt. Now get out of here. But you know what's mad, mate? I swear to God, right, no matter what I've been in hospital with, what I've been to the doctors with, I sit there and I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait, and people go in and 15 minutes later, I go in there and I'm back out in about 47 seconds with my prescription. And I'm like, what the fuck is everyone? He's either interfering with the women that are going in there, something untoward's happening. And he obviously don't find me sexually attractive, so he just writes my prescription and fucks me up.
Oh my god,
But
that's fucking.
and even if I'm sat in traffic, you know, getting to the junction, I sit in traffic and I edge forward and I edge forward and I wait and I wait and I move a bit more forward. When I get to the junction, I pull fucking straight out and I'm like, why is everyone not doing this at the start? What the fuck's going on? But definitely in hospitals and doctors, anything at all like that, I go in and I say what I've got to say, get my shit and get back out of there. There's people in that doctor surgery 100% go around there just to chat shit to people.
Mm.
That's why I believe you should genuinely have to pay to see a doctor.
Talking of fucking seeing a doctor, I'm not kidding you. This is the God's honest truth. I saw somebody posted the status up the other day, and they copied it from an American person, whether it was somebody on their Facebook or not. But it cost them £13,000 to give birth.
Yeah.
I saw it the other day, and I was like, "How lucky are we?"
That should be a thing, mate. Should be a thing. We might have had one. Might have had one at a push.
I'll push it out.
That's like, oh, fuck it, I'm going off this.
You know what? I do sort of think that actually America we should adopt some sort of private healthcare system in the UK, because I genuinely don't understand why I should pay more contributions. I know it's set at the same percentage rate, but if I earn more than someone who earns less than me, which I do because that statement's a very fucking obvious statement, why would I be any more or less likely to pull off the NHS? Why should they take more and more money for services where most people in professional positions would normally, and I'm not saying me because I blatantly don't, but would live a healthier life, etc. Therefore, the chances are they'd have less burden on the system. So, but if we had to subscribe to health services that get reviewed every 2 years, then obviously they'd say to me, "You're a fat cunt, so you get 2 out of 10, and you're a vapor, or you was a smoker, so you get none out of 10. You've gone to vaping, you get 4 out of 10. You give up smoking, you get 6, and then give me a premium based on me, on the basis that with your lifestyle, with your health issues, whatever, that's what your premium's going to cost you. If you don't use it, you get no claims bonus like you do with the car. So if you're a smoker, if you're a drinker, if you're a crackhead, if you're a fucking alcoholic, whatever, you should pay for it."
You made about £20.
I won't read what Kevin put. I'll just giggle.
Let me see what Kevin put, because I don't. Facebook seems back and okay. There's the year. If we ended up paying for doctors, most people go back to.
So sorted both ways. Sorry, mate, but Kev, you said that.
My mum and dad went to Ireland years and years and years and years ago, probably 25 years ago, and they took my sister. My sister had to go to the doctors, and my dad had to pay 20 quid or something for the doctor's appointment. But the appointment was, say, at 9:17, and he calls you in at fucking 9:17, and you go in there, and they take your blood pressure, and they take your pulse, and they check your oxygen, and give you like a little mini MOT, and then what's wrong with you? Then you get your tablets, you pay for your tablets, you fuck off. Right. And the people that are in that surgery waiting to go in are real. And they're prepared to spend 20 quid. All these fucking old women that smell a piss that go down there every Monday just for somewhere to fucking meet up wouldn't go.
Truth.
Now, obviously, there's always an argument then, say, poor people wouldn't be able to afford to go to the doctors. But maybe you should, like,
take out the benefits.
Huh?
Take it out of the benefits.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the fucking. I don't know what the answer is, because obviously there is people. Mate, it pisses me off paying 19 quid for 2 prescriptions.
I don't pay for prescriptions. I'm sorry, but that's because I'm diabetic.
Yeah, but you're only diabetic because you eat loads of fucking cake. Sorry, Tom. That was like that's the raw pork coming through right there. Joking, I'm joking. No, that's my point. Is like when I have a rant and rave about people on benefits, and everyone goes, "Yeah, everyone's life can change that quick," and I get that 100%. And I've been touch wood. I've been fortunate enough that in the last since I left school, I've never signed on and claimed benefits, and I've worked. And I get that my life could change overnight. The business could go bump. Vaping could get struck off as a thing that can't happen, and we have to start again and do something different to restructure our life. So I get all of that, but I still work on the basis that my tax contribution weekly, monthly, yearly is high. I pay a huge amount in taxes annually, and if I lose my job tomorrow, I should be able to pull benefit based on my input over the last 25 years.
But same with the pension, isn't it? You're going to get the same state pension as anybody else, even regardless of what you put into the system, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my point. But my company pay more money for me because they have to pay approximately 10% of my salary to PAYE, the same as we do for the people we employ in the shops. So if I have to pull off state benefits tomorrow for whatever reason, then they should say to me, bring me up on the computer and say, you've paid in, you've earned X amount of points. This is what we can give you. Now, bearing in mind, my lifestyle is probably different to people that earn £140 a week benefits. I don't even know how much benefits are. So therefore, my net earnings need to be different because of the house that we live in, the bills that we pay, because that's the lifestyle that we've got because of the jobs that we do. So I should be. They should be. I don't know. I don't know what. But if they said to me, right, you've got this much credit, you can pull it off at 400 quid a week or 300 quid a week or whatever I need to pay my bills and live. Just to let you know, if you pull off at that rate, you've only got until then. After that, you got fuck all, man. You're back down to the bare bones, which honestly, I believe should be food tokens, electricity cards, gas cards. That's my honest opinion. And that's not because I'm some fucking draconian 1800s slave master. I just think it makes people go, you know what, I want to better myself. I want something different. And without, it's hard, it's a difficult argument because people automatically assume you're being a prick about it, but I do believe that when your benefit earnings are that close to minimum wage, and in lots of cases, we employ people, mate, that earn national living wage that still get a top up for family credit. Factory, we've got many people that earn top ups, and I'm like, what is the point of us paying a national living wage to someone, then the government subsidises more on top because they've chosen to have 67 kids. And they're earning more than some people that have got no kids, who are in a higher position, that have worked for longer and worked their way up the management tier or whatever they've done. It don't make any sense to me. But if they didn't get that subsidy, they'd be more inclined not to knock a day off sick, not to just accept that that's their job for life and possibly strive to better themselves on the basis that there is people out there that want to better themselves and don't feel there's any benefit in doing so. Now, from my own personal point of view, if I could earn 17 grand a year or whatever national minimum wage comes out to for 40 hours as a basic labourer, or I could earn 17 grand to be a manager, for me personally, I'd rather be the manager. I have less shit to do. Physical shit. So it's about looking at something and saying, well, actually, I'd rather be down that road. And the chances are that job's going to bring you more money or whatever. I don't know. I just think the whole way that the system structured, bollocks.
I think, like we've said it before, like a lot, it's not everybody, but a lot of people who sort of are raised and see parents and family members doing that stuff, like well, they've said, fuck it, I don't need to work. I can make as much money just sat on my ass playing PS4 all day. You know, that's sort of, we've said it before, and it's sort of way, how far do you go with it? I think we're very easy in this country. You can't go into Australia and claim benefits. You can't go to America and claim benefits because they just don't fucking allow it.
There was a massive outcry on Facebook. I don't know if it was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago about the Asian bloke that had come over from. I'm gonna say Pakistan, but before everyone goes, you fucking racist prick, he was from India. He was from over that neck of the woods somewhere, and he'd got family in the UK. He'd come into the UK. He'd come into the UK sick, and they took him to the hospital. And they basically said, "You ain't got a blue card, mate. So if you want that operation, it's £210,000 or whatever it is." And there's people in uproar on Facebook, but all these do-gooders going, "This is disgusting. A man's died." And I'm like, he's only died because he's come here. Send him back home on the plane and get the operation done there. Yeah, they won't do it. So we get the blame for not doing something his own country won't do. And we've got queues we've got people dying in our hospitals because they can't get the operation they need because we're dealing with people that shouldn't be getting treated. It bores my piss.
It's the same as housing. It's massively. It's like there should not be armed forces on the street. It is a massive. That's an epidemic to me of people who served this country and looked after this country for, regardless of if they were getting paid or not. They stood a service.
What I say about homeless people is that I know Tasha used to work for a women's refuge, do voluntary work for a women's. I was going to say women refugees, but like a women refuge where they might have been beaten up by their boyfriends or they're homeless. And there's a big percentage of people who's on our streets that choose to live that life.
Yeah.
Actually, there's people that have been sort of taken back into society and given jobs, and whether it's because of mental health or what, I don't know. But there's people that just are quite happy living that life. So I get there's definitely a homeless problem, but I still think there's a hell of a lot of people. So when Tasha, when she was doing it, there's a lot of people that actually physically choose that lifestyle for whatever reason they want to do. So I you know what, mate? I don't know. I just think it's. I think it's too easy to live a decent life by doing fuck all. And it's not that I expect people on benefits to live like fucking Oliver Twist and have to beg for a fucking plate of food. But I do think people's priorities generally in life are twisted completely. Look, I know people on benefits that go on holiday more than me and Tasha have been on holiday. They've got 2 cars in the family. They've got fucking just had the new S8 Plus that's just come out because the contract's up. And they've got the nails done and they've got fucking Tiffany bracelets on and trainers, and the kids have got trainers, and they're pleading poverty. Get to bingo twice a week, buy a scratch card every day. They go in and buy their 20 fags. And I'm like, you actually live way above your means, funded by us being the country, not me. I'm not sitting here claiming my amount of tax pays for all these people. My amount of tax gets paid. I have to pay it, and so does everyone else in my position, and prorated upwards and backwards. But I don't believe that people who are on benefits should be able to afford to have a fucking £60 a month phone contract.
No, they should be given food.
It's not because I want to be better than them. I've worked hard. Tasha's worked hard to have things around us that I consider to be luxuries that we've give ourselves by working hard. And actually, most people don't live in poverty, mate. And they're going, the food banks are the highest they've ever been used. There's people who use food banks because they're spending money in areas they shouldn't be spending money. But society has made people think that they should have a Sky television package, they should have the fucking 300 meg broadband, they should have the flat screen TV, they should have the name trainers, the latest phones, fucking Uber Eats coming up and down the path 4 times a week because of their human rights.
That's it.
It's got nothing to do with human rights. It's got to do with someone getting up in the morning and saying, you know what, I might have said this a few times on the show. I've certainly said it on live feeds generally. There's people that won't work full time because they're only £20 or £30 a week better off than being on benefits. And I'm still sat there thinking, if you're only £30 a week better off, it's £1,500 a year. £1,500 a year would take you and your kid on holiday, or you and your 2 kids on holiday. Or it'd pay for the Christmas presents for the kids.
30 quid a week. 30 quid is a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but the trouble is, 30 quid a week to most people, it's considered fuck all. It's a McDonald's. It's a this because society's mindset of the value of money is gone. It's gone. And I probably value money more now that we earn decent money than I ever did. Like when I was younger, I always had nice cars and we had a nice house and all them sort of things. But I didn't have a penny around me. Like everything, I was like the typical, stereotypical in inverted commas, non-racist black man. Everything I owned was in my car because I'd never saved nothing. Therefore, it's pointless me saving because I'll never get ahead of myself. So when I had my Range Rover, I saved up the first £2,000 I saved up, spent on a fucking stereo system for the car. Proper backward mentality, but probably, to be completely honest, it's like a council estate style mentality. That's what I was brought up on, a council estate. My dad was brought up on a council estate. My mum was. None of us 5 brothers and sisters went to university. We were a council estate mentality family. And actually, it becomes the norm. That way of living becomes the norm. And there's too many sort of do-gooders out there saying, well, people should have nice things around them. It's not their fault there's no work. And I'm like, there is work. Otherwise, they'd shut the fucking job centres.
Yeah.
There's thousands of jobs available. You go to any job centre in the country, mate, there's jobs. I've never once heard of a job centre saying, I don't know what the fuck we're going to do, man. All the job boards are empty. But people want to work in an office, on a Mac, in clean conditions, in IT, because they want to be an IT guru and all these modern styles of living. And yet, as someone who is the director of a dirty, shitty galvanizing factory, you can earn minimum wage working in our factory plus bonuses and various structures, way more than minimum wage. But if you come in there as a basic labourer on minimum wage with tonnage bonuses and whatever else, you could literally go and work in a florist and earn the same money less the bonus. So why the fuck would you choose to work in a shithole of a factory? Whereas when I started working in that factory 24 years ago, I got paid more than working in a fucking florist because it demanded more money to do that. And then once I was in there, I was like, what's the sort of tiers within this structure for me to be able, well, what job do I do next to earn more dough? Oh, you can do your fork truck driving license. How do I do that? You can do this. How do I do that? So you start looking and sort of mapping out the way that you want to go. Now, there's people that don't do that. There's people that will always be happy at the lower tier. There's other people that will strive to get to as high as they possibly can. There's some people that are lucky enough to get born into the high position and they don't need to work for it anyway, but that's just life. It's just the way that it is.
Yeah.
All the people in the middle, there's too much of this hang up about why should I be expected to live in poverty just because I'm on benefits? And there's such a big percentage of people that choose that lifestyle because it pays too well. Bother their ass to get out of bed at fucking 6 o'clock in the morning, to get the kids to a childminder, to catch a bus, to go to work, to get home at 6 o'clock and come home. But I tell you what, the kids know that you're doing that. It's like a mindset you're changing in the kids to know that, you know what, I can remember when mum and dad both started working and actually we were better off. We did go out weekends. We could go to Drayton Manor once in the summer holidays. We could do this. We could do that. So then when they come to leave school, it's natural for them to understand that I get a job, I earn money. The more I earn, the better my life is. Now, it just seems to me that just generally the lower end plateau is quite high.
Yeah.
Therefore,
I feel like there's no, for me personally, it's pride. The majority of it's pride. Yeah. You've got to pride in yourself.
I'm not going to lie, right? If someone says to me, oh, you can claim benefits because you've got fucking 7 kids, you can claim benefits and we'll give you £1,500 a week, I'd fucking take their arm off tomorrow. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say I wouldn't want it. I'm not blaming anyone that chooses to use the system where it's there for. System, in my opinion, is just fucked. I don't know how they ever put it right because they've created such a country of people that believe they're owed something. It's crazy. That's. I mean, I don't even know how we started talking about it.
No, I agree with you. I think it's massively a pride thing, and it's also sort of, as you say,
you're having fucking diabetes, you prick. You sent me off on a right tangent there.
from me paying for no fucking prescription, being fat, and search you into a fucking right.
You're getting free prescriptions and free pedicures. You have to pay the fucking chink, fucking £7 to take the skin off my feet, and you get yours.
No, I've got to pay for a chiropodist. I've got a chiropodist appointment next month, and I have
Why do
paid
you
for
have
it.
to pay for chiropody? You get that free if you've got diabetes.
No, they test it because obviously a lot of it is I'm young, so when I do get my like yearly test, so they take me in to do my it's something like a H1B one, I think it's called, something like a yearly test. They'll test like your sensitivity on your feet, so they don't like scrub your feet or like that. They'll just literally test for points that they can feel your feet, to do your hands, and that's about it. But if I go to the doctors and say I want to see a chiropodist, they might give me a chiropodist appointment, but they'll just look at your feet and go, I'm not fucking referring you, you're all right.
No, because I'm sure you're not supposed to even cut your own toenails when you've got diabetes.
There's certain things. I think it's more likely going to be type 1 than I'm type 2, which is
My old man
obviously.
was type 2, but my old man got free chiropody because you've got issues with bleeding, haven't you, and infection.
I get bruising on my toes. On my toes, I get really bad bruising. But I've never sort of asked for it. That's the thing. Once again, I've never gone to the doctor and asked for it.
Your doctor, I need to get my feet done. You get free chiropody. I'm 99% sure. He might have changed, mate. My old man's been dead for 8 years, but he definitely. But saying that, our dad still didn't bother doing it. I'd go into his house and he'd have some dirty old wire cutters out of his toolbox. Fucking, his feet were shocking, mate. They looked like something off Dumb and Dumber. Digging out his ingrown toenail with the fucking one of the spikes, one of the skewers off the barbecue or something. You're like, what are you doing, you mad geezer?
Yeah, my feet aren't the prettiest. I've had 2 or 3 ingrowing toenails.
No, I'll get them as well, but it's actually from cutting your own toenails badly to start off with.
Oh,
but I must have done that. If you've got ingrown toenails, I guarantee they'll do your feet for free because it's the worst. Like, you can get bad infection from them, and then when you try and dig them out yourself, because you've got to go fucking fairly. Like, my toes hurt for days after I've dug an ingrown toenail out. But obviously they know how to do it, so they're not puncturing the skin and cutting you and then leaving you open for the risk of infection and stuff. So there's one of the benefits to having diabetes. You have free prescriptions.
I'm sorry for being fat. I do apologise.
Yeah. Anyone in the chat? Did you watch Cheated last night, Tom? And Monday
no,
night?
What's that?
It's called Cheat. It's a series it's on Monday night, Tuesday night, Monday, Tuesday. It's on tonight and tomorrow is the last one. It's just this 4-part series that was on Central. Starts at 9 o'clock. So at 9 o'clock, I'm going to pretend that my internet's gone down and I'm going to get off. And
what's it about?
About a student that cheats in an exam, and then it's without. I can't even tell you without ruining it for anyone that hasn't watched it yet. It's worth watching 100%.
Is it American?
No, UK.
Oh, is it?
Coronation Street.
Who from Coronation Street?
Remember Becca, who used to be married to Steve back in the day?
Yeah. Blonde lass, yeah.
Yeah. She's the main character in it.
So you're getting off at 9 o'clock then?
No. I'll watch it on +1 at 10 o'clock.
I'm gonna say you've got the benefits of having Sky TV.
You can watch it on our TV player.
Yeah, I've got fucking Plex, mate. What paying for that? Did you watch the Tommy Morrison interview? Did you honestly? Tommy Morrison, right? He's portrayed as being like a bad bigot and a racist, and I'm not.
Tommy Robinson.
Yeah.
Which interview?
The one where he exposes the panorama.
Panorama. I've seen that. I've watched it. Yes, I have watched it. The thing is, for me, this is without going into any sort of my political views. Or
you're gonna stick up for all them fucking paedophiles in Leeds.
No, listen. No, listen.
You don't even have paedophiles up here.
Before we get started, I am not a fucking sympathiser. I am not a sympathiser before we start getting into
because
this.
you're Muslim, yeah, you bollocks.
No, I have seen it. I have watched it, and I'll be deadly honest with you. There's some views I believe in what he says, and there's some views I don't believe in what he says.
Yeah,
but it was good. It was very
I
fucking
think
good.
what he proves is that media generally is corrupt.
But it does it. They do it in. The thing for me is, it shows the wider scale of how corrupt media is. Because let's be realistic, they've even been that corrupt when vaping was at its top peak. Everything in the news was negative about vaping because the money they were losing in the media. Everything was negative. There was these things
the people that ultimately own the world banks and own the most money in the world own all the media companies right the way down. And I think on that basis, you can never really have impartial news from the company that's got an invested interest worth billions and billions of pounds a day. But everything that's happening in the world, it's like they've got that many fingers in that many pies. They literally dictate the way that this world fucking spins. Now, my issue with Tommy Robinson is more that because he surrounded himself with such knobheads in the early days,
yeah,
it sort of puts him on a bad foot because he might not be fucking Harvard educated, but he certainly knows his shit.
Yeah.
And the trouble is, he comes across as such a crass moron that not enough people listen to him. But actually, he makes some really, really, really valid. Like even when I watch that on YouTube on my telly, because I've got this posh telly because we go to work, so I can stream my phone. And straight after that video finished, YouTube just clicks into the next video. And the next video was when he was outside the court in Leeds, ranting and raving at all the Pakistani blokes. And that's when he looks like a prick. Because actually, that argument isn't that the Pakistani men have raped white women. It's that any men have raped any women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the race and the colour should not come into that fucking argument, in my opinion. And you can't stand there and go, oh my God, you're covering for Pakistani Muslims raping white teenage girls without, in the same breath, having a rant and rave about the Pope covering Catholic priests fucking anyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like there's too much emphasis on the race instead of him just having a political argument about immigration, because there's genuine arguments to be had there. It doesn't automatically make you a racist to not agree with some immigration policies.
Yeah.
It's the way that he comes across, and actually deep down he's quite a well-educated bloke in his field of knowledge. But I just watched it and I thought I need to cancel my television license.
It's true though, isn't it? Isn't it true?
I always knew that they couldn't tell that you're watching it from outside. Because there's people that go, oh my God, the TV. I remember the TV van being outside back a day, and everyone's shitting up, turning off the telly or you used to be able to turn your telly to black and white. I don't know if you remember that. You used to have on contract, they used to have like dials for the contrast and the brightness, and if you turned them all down, you had a black and white telly. There's the telly vans outside. Turn the fucking telly to black and white, mate, because the black and white TV license was cheaper.
No, I do like him in certain points, but he's also exposed that you cannot have the reason I like you, and this is not anything, because you're very open and you'll say what you believe and you're very honest about what you believe, and he's at the point now where anything he says he's classed as a racist when people don't like it, or class him as a bigot when people don't like it, and that's sort of what annoys me, because there isn't a freedom of speech. So certain things I do agree with him, but on the other hand, he should be going after every race.
No, exactly. That's what I was just going to say. He should be outside the Catholic Church. He's having the same arguments, and he should be having the same arguments about whatever. Because for me, if you've been granted asylum in the UK, whether you agree with it or you don't, you've got the same entitlements of someone that's been here all their life. And on that basis, they're doing nothing different to someone else who's scrounging off the dole, if that's the right terminology to use. It makes me laugh when someone called Dave from fucking Droitwich, who's never worked a day in his life and still wears Adidas Popper tracksuit bottoms, he's fucking on Facebook ranting and raving that Mohammed has took his job, and Mohammed's a fucking brain surgeon, mate. And I'm like, Dave, you can't even write your own name with a pen, you prick. Mohammed hasn't took your job.
The majority of doctors and surgeons in the NHS ain't from this country.
Yeah.
A lot of the nurses that are out there doing back-to-back shifts ain't from this country.
No, but you know what, mate? Because in this country, you've got a situation where people don't want to be fully educated because they can be out earning. So there's no long-term view on life. It's all about here and now. But actually, you look at most Asian cultures, and they're not about the here and now. They're about the long term, which is why 4 families will share one house.
Yeah.
And they'll all go out and graft, and they'll save the money, and they'll buy 4 houses, and they've all got their own house, and jobs are good, and it might take them 10 years to achieve that.
Yeah, they've all got investment, haven't they? They've all got investment into one thing, and you'll never see an Asian family put one of their own into a care home because they'll always have somebody at home to care for them.
I can remember back in the day, my oldest brother, went to school with a Pakistani kid, and his dad owned the shop. Afis, his name was, and they'd got money and whatever, and fucking we all, even like then, we used to sit down as a family and eat our tea. And Stephen was going, fucking hell, man. As either Afis's older brother, the mum and dad's bought him a house, just got married and they've bought him a house and whatever. And my dad was going, you can fucking slag these packies off all you like, but they know how to fucking work together and pull and do what they do. And Stephen was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I'll go out to work and I put all my money in the pot. And you go out to work, and I can't even remember what Stephen used to earn. Then say he used to earn 70 quid a week. And he'd have to give my dad £20 keep. And he was left with 50 quid. So my dad says, what you'll do is instead of giving me £20 keep, you'll give me 70 quid and I'll put it in the pot. And then Kerry's got a job, so she'll put her money in the pot. And then when Craig gets a job, he puts his money in the pot. And then we all put our money in the pot, and we all eat together, and we all live together, and we all use the smallest amount out of that central fund as we can. And then when things come up, we pull out the pot. And Stephen said straight away, well, I ain't fucking putting 70 quid a week in if Kerry's only putting fucking 38 quid a week in. And my dad says, that's my point. Carry on with your dinner. You're literally just making a point that they do make sacrifice, but they do prosper from that sacrifice. Like people, see what pisses me off is uneducated people. I was raised Roman Catholic. I went to church every Sunday. I served as an altar server till I was 12 or 13 years old. The last time I went into church, other than for a wedding, a funeral, or a christening, was at my nan's funeral, when the priest told me I couldn't put a coffin on my nan's. The cross of flowers on my nan's coffin because the flowers will get on the floor. Then they've got to sweep it up. And I was like, mate, I'll sweep the fucking church myself, you prick. And he's like, some old Irish paedophile. And he was like, you weren't having none of it. And I ended up abusing him. And I was saying, look, my nan was Irish Catholic, so she's a bit like the equivalent of a fucking suicide bomber, Muslim suicide bomber, because they are brainwashed, mate. And it's like, I know people don't get suicide bombers and whatever, but in any religion, in any walk of life, you get people that look at things and take things either literally or to an extreme. And a proper Irish Catholic, they're brainwashed. They read the Bible, they've got the rosary beads in their handbag, they do what they've got to do. They'll turn a blind eye to the priest knobbing the kid down the road because God will forgive him on fucking once. You know what I mean? You can't get that sin. You can't get them sins forgiven, man.
No way.
But they're brought up in such a way where, like, you can do whatever you fucking like as long as you get to confession, and then you can get your sins forgiven, and you can carry on being a prick again till the next time you get to confession.
That's scary though, that because it does
go. And I just remember thinking they're a bunch of hypocrites. But then I've got lots of friends who are Muslim, and what I would consider proper Muslim. So they're not eating sausage rolls, and they're not shagging fucking 32 different women, and they're not selling heroin, but they are working hard, and they do go to the mosque, and they do follow the Quran, and they don't drink alcohol, and they don't smoke, and they're not eating pork, and they're following the basics of the Quran. And a percentage of their wage goes to the mosque every week or month. They build their own mosques. They pay for their own mosque. They pay for their own upkeep of the mosque. I guarantee anyone watching this feed or anyone ever watching this video in 10 years to come or 20 years to come, go to any mosque at 2 o'clock in the morning, knock the door, some cunt will take you in.
Yeah.
And they will feed you. and they'll make sure you've got a roof over your head. They might even try and give you a Quran and convert you, because that's ultimately their aim, is to get as many people following as they can. You go and do the same at a Catholic church, mate. They'll phone the fucking police and say some cunt's trying to bang my door down.
They won't be open.
Just
You won't even get the fucking door open.
It's more shit that there's people living on our streets, homeless, whether they're ex-forces, whether it's just someone who's had a shit deal at life or someone who's chose that way. When it's pissing down with rain or 2 foot of snow or 70-mile-an-hour winds, all of them places should be open to the public to go in and sleep, get on the bench and fucking sleep. That's my opinion, and I think it sucks that they're up there on a Sunday telling everyone about giving to the poor, and they've got a building that probably fucking sleep 200 or 300 people. Shut.
I've got friends recently when we had a couple months back when we had really bad winter, and they're of no religion, and they literally, a couple of them phoned me and said, "If you got out that you can give us clothes, boxes, socks, anything that you can give us, sleeping bags, pillow, is there anything that you give us?" And they went out into our city centre and literally handed out stuff. No photos on social media, no fuck all, and just did what they had to do. And to me, that goes underknown, because they haven't put it all over social media, and there is people out there that do that every fucking day for nothing, just because either they want a self pat on the back or just to help somebody out. And that stuff does go on, but because it's not on social media, there's no thanks, there's no that.
See, the mad thing is like Sikhs generally are very charitable, giving people. Muslims are exactly the same. Christian, Catholic, whatever you want to call it, if you follow the letter of the Bible, you should be a loving, giving person, because actually you can't be fully about the material things in life and not give to someone else and still be a practicing Catholic, because actually there's something I can't remember. There's something about envy and all that malarkey in the commandments, or
I'm gonna say in the Ten Commandments.
But people are arseholes and use the religion as a way of cleaning their own conscience. And then you'll see a video that some white blokes posted of some Muslims or of some Sikhs feeding 3,000 homeless people. And he's posted to say, to sort of counteract the racism that's generally about on social media. And actually, you go through them comments, mate, and they're just sickening, because you've just got people who go, "Oh, they're only doing it to beg likes." No one's told. No one. They haven't told anyone about this. A member of the public's posted it to say, "Wow, you've all got this impression about what Muslims are doing, or about what Sikhs are doing, or about what Jews are doing, or about what white people are doing, or about young black kids are doing." And at the moment, it's all about young black kids stabbing each other and killing each other. And even that, I've seen posts all week about no one gives a fuck about the black people killing themselves, but when a white woman gets stabbed to death in London, there's a big hysteria. And I'm like, it's completely different that a woman sat on a park bench eating a fucking apple or whatever she was doing gets stabbed in the back of the neck and died, over 2 kids fighting who have both got knives.
Yeah,
it's a completely different scenario, but you can't say that, because automatically it's because I don't care about the 2 black kids that have died. It's rife in Birmingham at the moment. It's shocking. But the trouble is, the 1 black kid gets stabbed, and as it goes, most of them are Somalian or Asian. Actually, they're not even sort of. I nearly said something then, but they're not even like Jamaican or black African. I mean, like Somalian are, without sounding racist, they all look the same. They're just, some have got tits and some haven't got tits. You can tell it's more. But then one gets stabbed, and then there's 25 kids who want to stab someone off the other firm because one of their pals just got stabbed, and then it goes on and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. And the thing is, some of these people is, mate, their parents have come over inside the last 20 years from a war-torn shithole of a country, right, where they watch people get shot, they're watching women get raped and pillaged, and they live in shit in this country, and it is still a million times healthier than where they've come from. So having 2 mattresses, a fridge freezer, and 9 car toys in their front garden, it's still fucking way tidier than fucking someone getting raped in the next door's garden.
Yeah.
So they generally change. I was going to say drag down, but they change the societies that they live in. They change the surroundings, but their mentality is they're just wired completely different to you and all. Some of
Because
that,
of where they come from, innit?
because of what they've seen in their lives, they've seen
Yeah.
stuff you probably never imagine, no matter how long you sat and thought about it. But that same wiring has got to be passed down into their children, even if it's only through thoughts and speaking and talking. If their dad's telling them that back home, if this happened, you killed some cunt, they ain't going to think twice about sticking a knife in some fucker outside the college, whether he's 16 or whether he's 60. And then once one's got stabbed, you've got this domino effect of, right, we'll fucking show them who's fucking running things. We'll show them. I think there was 6 or 7 stabbings deep in Birmingham in the last 3 weeks. It's fucking ridiculous. We're actually...
It's kids, no, it's kids killing kids, isn't it?
Yeah, just fucking shoot them.
It's kids killing kids.
Yeah. They're no good for our society.
The thing is, because you get all these reports of how big knife crime is now in the UK and everything like that and whatnot. And then they say, look at America. Look at America. The size of America and all the shootings that go on over there is nothing compared to the knife epidemic that's over here.
Now, you know what? But all walks of life, and white people, black people, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Jews, Chinese people. There's in every single walk of life, mate. You've got these fickle people. I've seen white people regularly defending Muslim or black or whatever, saying you can't. Abby's just put something there about it takes one person to sort of badly brandish a race or a religion. I've seen people on my own newsfeed, people that I know, regularly posting on news feeds of Birmingham Live or whatever, saying, like, I don't know, a picture of a Pakistani rapist comes up, convicted and charged for 12 years. You go through the comments and it's just full of racist shit. And normally the top comment is about it being the fact it's a Pakistani. And then you've got all these white people who want to be seen to be doing the right thing on social media, saying things like, you can't blame a whole country of people just because of one bad rapist. The weekend, a Blues fan ran on the pitch and banjoed a player in the back of the head.
Yeah.
The same people that are posting saying you can't blame everyone are posting saying all Birmingham City are scum. Right. And I'm like, it's one prick, right, who's been out and had a few beers, got carried away with himself, ran on the pitch like Johnny Concrete, and he's got fucked for it. How does that make every Birmingham City fan, everyone who supports Birmingham City and their players and their stewards and everyone else, a bunch of wankers?
Yeah.
It's just fucking, it's crazy. But people do work in pack mentality. That's just the way that life is, and I don't think it'll ever be any different.
It's just easier to blame a group of people rather than the individual, isn't it? That's the main game of it. It's easy for you to turn around and go, well, you're all wankers, not just this prick. Because have you seen that they're doing a GoFundMe for his fines?
They've took it down, haven't they? It's been pulled.
I saw it and I was like, fucking, that's brilliant. I was like, look at them all getting together, get his fines paid. Do you know what the thing for me is? I watched it, and I genuinely watched it, and I went, "You absolute fucking asshole!" And it wasn't the fans. It wasn't the fans' fault. It wasn't the steward's fault that he got past. He got on the pitch and he smacked him, and that's him being an absolute asshole. That's his choice to do that. He's now going to serve 14 weeks in fucking jail and not see his kids. It's his fucking issue. It's not anybody else of the fans. Fuck me, there's worse stuff goes on in football grounds week in, week out. He fucking threw that punch and missed the twat.
He couldn't think his way out of a wet fucking paper bag, the mad geezer.
That is the easiest way from the back is to break someone's jaw. That is the easiest way to do it. And he fucking missed and sliced his face.
It's just,
and he just.
I mean, I've seen the video and I'm just like, what an absolute prick. And I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm no avid Blues supporter, but if any team in the Midlands, I'd support Birmingham City. And that's just because I was brought up in Birmingham City and because Aston Villa smells like piss and shit. But that's the difference. I'm only joking, man. All the Villa fans know me fucking fat prick. So I'm no avid football supporter by any stretch, but I seen it and I was like, what a wanker. But I'd have thought that if a Liverpool player got punched by someone from West Ham or whatever, I'd be a bit like, what a prick. And it's because more to the fact that he's gone out with 5, 6, 10 of his pals had a few beers, and then he's got to be like the class clown and go, you know what, I'm going to do a pitch invasion and punch him in the head. And he said himself, I didn't ever intend on punching him. I got onto the pitch and you just get a bit fucking carried away with himself. And next thing you know, he banjoed him and he's getting marched off and he's got nicked. And I don't know, crazy. Anyway, what are you drinking? And what have you had for your drink?
Well, I was drinking milk. I'm drinking orange now. And I had for tea, I had cottage pie, sprouts, and broccoli. I had broccoli because I'm trying to get my bumper and my thighs on point because I know broccoli's good for your ass.
Mate, you'd have to eat your fucking own body weight in broccoli 4 times a day.
I thought I'd throw that one in there. Broccoli's good for your backside, so I've been on the broccoli hype.
If I eat broccoli, it's not good for my backside because it's fucking cheap.
That's what
I'm gonna stick to a tonic tea cake.
Can't beat them. They're all right. They are all right then. But have you tried putting them in the microwave? Don't put it on with foil though.
No, I haven't. I've seen that on a life hack, and they expand and go all soft and
then you usually put them through like graham crackers.
These are proper tonics ones, right? And actually, the marshmallow inside is like what's in a snowball. It's like really soft, and I thought, you know what I mean? It's like some of them are quite hard marshmallow, aren't they?
Yeah,
it's a bit too soft for my liking.
Don't get me started on fucking biscuits. I found the best life hack. The best life hacks. I'm the absolute killer for Jaffa cakes. I don't know what you like for Jaffa cakes.
I've got a box of 100 in my cupboard.
Right, and they're McVitie's out there,
mate, from Farm Foods for £3.
Yeah, from the McVitie's out there. The McVitie's.
Yeah.
Well, I've been broke a few times in my life. and you know our last words emotions. So I said to her, there's fucking Jaffa cakes there, 12 for 30p on Morrison's own, mate. They are 110% better than McVitie's. I swear to you.
I'm not having it.
I swear to you. I promise. I will change your life.
You won't.
They're thinner and they're just
thinner and they taste more orangey and the shit.
Why do you like a Jaffa cake? Do you like it for the orange, the chocolate, or the actual?
I honestly think
cake?
The orange and chocolate ratio to their sponge is fucking spot on. And when I eat the clone ones, you fucking see. I'm elitist where biscuits and crisps are concerned. When I've had the copycat ones, like in fact, Yvette bought some to Expo, didn't she?
I think so.
Some fucking buller fucking Fradas, man. Some Frada fucking Jaffa cakes. But actually, I think that they're too thin. There's too much of them.
No, they're perfect. They're perfect for me.
Perfect for you, mate. They're perfect for you. Subjective, this is.
Right. If we talk about Jaffa cake, someone here. So Nikki said, "Is Jaffa cake a cake or a biscuit?" That's a fucking debate to be had.
It's a cake for 2 reasons. We don't pay VAT on them because they're cakes. And McVitie's went to court to say it's a cake, and you don't have to pay VAT on cake, but you have to pay VAT on biscuits. And a cake goes hard when it goes stale, and a biscuit goes soft when it goes stale. So it's a cake. And the biggest reason why it's a cake is because they're called fucking Jaffa cake. The clue is on the box. But there's some technical reasons why it's a cake. So if Nikki wants to start a protest to have it become a biscuit, he's going to pay 20% more because they will get VAT.
Yeah, but is there really a problem with clone Jaffa cakes and clone biscuits? That's what I'm asking. That is what I'm asking.
Is there a problem? Mate, I haven't got a problem with cloning full stop. But don't tell me that I'm a prick for selling AV clones when you're eating fried fucking cheese puffs from Alder that have blatantly copied somebody's fucking quavers.
I am going to Google this because Kevin just made a statement saying they used to be called Jaffa biscuits.
Kevin's talking out of his fucking ass right now. They've never been called Jaffa biscuits, have they?
You are.
Oh, you on Bluetooth? Is that
Watching them now.
Oh, on the iPad.
Partial jelly, the fucking jelly in these days.
I'm talking to Tasha, mate. She's blanking me.
Do they all need?
She's got the iPad Pro over there, which is about the size of a small television. Bluetooth to her AirPods. So she's ironing away, not giving a fuck how much steam she's putting through interrupting my live feed.
It says here Jaffa cakes on Wikipedia.
What are you making?
Are you ready? Jaffa cakes on Wikipedia says Jaffa cakes are biscuit-sized cakes.
Yeah, that don't make it a biscuit. That's like saying that's a fucking brick-sized can. It's not a fucking brick. There might be a biscuit-sized cake, but they're not a fucking biscuit.
What the fuck is a Kit Kat then? A Kit Kat's a biscuit.
I never said it wasn't.
No, that's what Pixie said. Pixie said, what the fuck is a Kit Kat then? A Kit Kat is a biscuit.
Not a fucking cake.
It's fucking rock. Try leave one of them out. Leave one of them fuckers out there. Go soft as shit if you don't eat them. Try one of them at 1 o'clock in the morning.
To be honest, I've never ever had a Kit Kat go stale on me.
Well, Jack said,
I don't understand more. You know, like when you get them big bags of M&Ms and that. I don't understand why they bother to put a sticker on there to reseal it. Because I'm like, never reseals these ever. It's like,
oh, we've got the fucking debate on now. Jack and Kev both said a Kit Kat is a chocolate bar.
I don't give a fuck what Jack's a pretty the fucking cake.
All right, okay. So we're saying what sort
It's
of
a
Kit Kat?
chocolate bar. A Jaffa cake's a chocolate bar.
Who said it's a chocolate bar?
Oh, they're on about
No,
Kit Kats or Jaffa
they're
cake?
on about Kit Kats. No, they're definitely on about Kit Kats. But
Oh, yeah, well, it is a chocolate bar.
oh, it's a biscuit.
No, it's not.
It's a, no, you can't pull back from it. Don't you try that. Don't you fucking try that one.
No. It's no. You know what? I get what you're saying about it being I get what you're saying about it being a biscuit, but it's not a biscuit. It's a chocolate bar, but it's definitely.
Not a chance.
No, but that's,
reckon...
no, listen, whoa. I've just had Bounty cookies, right? Made by Banter. But they're not a Bounty. They're a fucking cookie. It's got Bounty bits in it, but it's a cookie. And if Kit Kat decided to make a biscuit that had wafer and chocolate on it, it'd be a biscuit. Because lots of them chocolate bars have bought out biscuits that are biscuits, but a Kit Kat's a chocolate bar.
No. Kit Kat's a biscuit.
I mean, I still stand by the fact that Jack's a prick, but
right. But then the argument is it's not a chocolate bar because when it's when it's 4 fingers or 2 fingers, it's not a fucking chocolate bar. It's a biscuit. But if it's Kit Kat chunky, I might take on that as a chocolate bar because that's 1 fucking piece. It can't be a bar. The word bar is singular, not fucking 4.
it's
biscuits.
one. It's one.
It's not. No, it's 4 biscuits.
It's not. Well, it's one biscuit that you can break into 4 pieces. Now I don't even see the point in doing. I unwrap all 4 and bite the cunt.
No, that's nothing shit.
The fat kid. Well, they haven't made a Kit Kat chunky that's got 4 of the cunts in.
No, the thing is being a fat kid, I use Kit Kat 4s and snap them off because it's fucking lasts longer. Get more pleasure. What is a Kinder Bueno then? Oh, now that's a fucking debate.
Kinder
That's
Bueno,
not a chocolate bar.
Kinder Bueno's a fire, mate. I would say that a Kinder Bueno is a biscuit bar because it's wafer on the outside and it's got the shit in the middle.
I don't even think they could put them in a category. I think they're just their own thing, aren't they?
They should just be in the fire category. Bueno's a fucking badass.
Have you tried is it Kinder Bueno that do the like a breakfast bar? Have you seen them? Like they're called like a break bar or something like that, and they're literally just like 3 racks in like a. I'm gonna have to find out what they are.
Is it the one that's like a bread?
Yes.
They're fire. fire, mate. Our kids have them. I can't remember what they're called either.
But they've got Nutella in, haven't they? It's Nutella, sorry. It's not Kinder. Is it?
No, but it's it's
Is it something from Nutella rather than?
they're called the same company that make Nutella, make Ferrero Rocher. It's actually Ferrero's the company. It's made, but they own that same. I don't know if a Kinder. No, but it is a Kinder Bueno, definitely. But I'm thinking Kinder Egg is owned by the company that make Ferrero Rocher, that make Nutella.
Possible.
Because Kinder Eggs are I can't believe they've never brought out a Kinder bar that's got that same. Because Kinder Egg chocolate is fucking fire.
Kinder Bueno, that's it. And no, they do a Kinder bar.
Yeah, them little ones.
Yeah,
they're so shit. They are dead. They are so shit.
No, they're just too small.
The shit is not about being small. The shit.
You should unwrap them and put them in a bag so you can take a couple out at a time and keep chucking them in.
Let's have a look. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do like a grab bag. I'm sure they do like a small one with grab bag. Carl said Milky Way.
Milky Way are for fucking idiots. I honestly don't know who walks into a shop and buys a Milky Way when there's fucking Snickers duos to be had.
Snickers. I'm not keen on Snickers, you know.
I always prefer.
I love peanut M&Ms. I love peanut M&Ms, but I'm not too
fire.
I'm not too keen on Snickers.
And I like Lion Bars and I like Toppings. But as a fat kid, I never ever bought a Topping because they were way smaller than every other chocolate bar. So
And they got fruit in as well.
I really like a Topping. But I'm like, they should do it. The normal size Topping should be packaged like a Bounty, so there's two of the cunts in there. You just start getting into it and your Topping gone. And then I was like, why the fuck don't they make a long Banter? Why is it made into two small sections or three if it's in the triple pack?
Yeah, it is right. They only make small, isn't it?
I was thinking about this the other day. This is how mad my mind is. I was like, is it because on that size, with that amount of coconut and that amount of chocolate, that the chocolate to coconut ratio is fucking spot on? And by having it longer, but then actually my conclusion was that they'd get fucked in transit and they'd end up breaking in the packaging because they're so soft.
Apparently they're all right in not all the time. I think they're a sort of chocolate you would get sick of.
Now, see, the Banter, if I go back to my fat kid days, very rarely would I walk into a shop and buy one chocolate bar. So if I had to buy one chocolate bar because I only had enough for one, I always used to buy a double decker because they were the cheapest and they were the biggest. So I always bought a double decker. If I had enough, a Topic or a Bounty would be my second, chocolate bar because I liked them, but not enough to spend all my money on it because there weren't enough chocolate in it. So that was like a fat kid logic there.
How did you eat your double deckers? Because still to this day, I take the top off the top and then eat the biscuit.
You know what? I used to, but they changed the shape of them now, haven't they? They're fatter.
Mm.
They used to be thinner and higher, and now they're fatter and shorter. And
because the biscuit's quite big, isn't it?
Different. And actually, I just eat it now. I like chocolate out of the fridge, so all about if we have chocolate in the house, it's in the fridge. So actually, you can't even take the nugget off the biscuit when it's in the fridge. But then when you bite it, you get a nice clean break because the nugget snaps.
Yeah. Good old nougat. There's a question for you then, because you said you had the choice when you went into the shop and you only bought a certain chocolate. If you only had the choice of crisp.
Kevin's just confirmed that Kinder Bueno is made by the Italian confectionery market maker Ferrero.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've got it up here as well. If you could go into the shop and you could choose a bag of crisps or chocolate, what are you buying?
Bag of crisps.
100%. Are you safe?
Only if they've got them pound bags, you know, the big fucking pound bags.
What are you buying though?
Huh?
What are you buying though?
I'm going through very much at the moment. I'm in a fucking hot and spicy Cheetos time of my life. But I love hot and spicy Monster Munch. I love beef hula hoops.
Beef hula hoops, I'm gonna say.
I like spicy Space Raiders.
The reason the problem I've got with beef hula hoops when they're in the big packets is they're fucking bigger, so you get fucking hardly any.
I do agree, mate. I don't understand why they're not the same size in a bigger bag.
They're fucking huge.
And the taste, like, I don't like. I actually really enjoy a Kit Kat, but I don't like chunky Kit Kats.
Yeah.
The chocolate's different on them. Whether it's because the chocolate's thicker, so it tastes different because there's more chocolate than there is wafer. I don't know, but I'd never. I'm not saying I'd never eat a chunky Kit Kat because I'm a fat cunt, so I'd always eat a chunky Kit Kat. But if there was another choice, I'd always choose something else over a chunky Kit Kat. And I'm a bit the same with beef hula hoops. I'd rather buy 2 packets of normal beef hula hoops than one big bag of the big hoops.
Yeah, a bit. Viv said, "Try the Doritos mix up; they are so good." So that's the. Have you tried them ones? The ones where it's all different ones in them.
Yeah, I like them. I had some Dorito steak, the new steak ones, the other night in bed. I was actually rummaging down the side of my bed, found these Doritos down the side.
Have you got a bed, Dash?
No, we've gone up to bed early one night and we just took some crease and some chocolate up and whatever, and we're just chilling watching the telly eating shite. And there was a full packet of like the big Doritos down the side of the bed, but I also knew there was a double decker down there, so I was lying in my bed rooting for the double decker, found the fucking Doritos, and I was like, bonus, man. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. Tash was asleep, so I've sat and ate this whole bag of fucking Doritos, felt sick as a cunt. And then during the night, I leant over to give Tash a kiss. And she's like, and I was like, what the fuck's the matter with you? She's like, you smell like you've had a fucking Sunday dinner. What fucking Doritos, man? And she's all like proper like I was trying to fucking wave a fucking cooked burger in her chin or something. In the morning, she was like, you fucking stunk in the night, man. Them fucking crisps are horrible. But actually, they're really, I ate the whole bag and they're not even that nice.
You see, the thing is, when I do like the mix up, the Dorito mix up, I always get a flavour that I'm really feeling at the time. And then I eat them and just leave the fucking rest. Because I either like the heat wave or the cool. I'm not too fussed about the cheese. But I always have salsa with my Doritos. Always.
I don't like the cool ones. I don't get the point of them. It's like some ones had the cheese ones and sucked the shit off them and threw them back in the bag. Now, you know what I actually like as well? You know, like they do the bags that have got like cheese bags. So they've got cheese, normal cheese and onion crisp, cheese monster munch, some cheese What's-Its, and it's got all different types of crisps in. They're fire as well.
Yeah, but you always go and smash the ones off because I'm
you always end up clattering all the monster munch.
And then you go and you're like, fuck, I thought there were one left. I've done that a few times.
I love tomato snaps as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Like old school tomato snaps. But I love
they're like fucking 35-40p a bag now.
I can remember snaps being 3p a bag. Like when I was little, mate, I was probably 2 or 3 in the shop across the road from our house then. And I can remember snaps going up to 5p and all the mums having a fucking outcry about it. Like the fucking gone up by a penny, man. It's 20% rise. How the fuck can they put 20% on a bag of fucking crisps? And now when I see shit like that's how I know I'm getting fucking old. I can remember my dad saying, like, my dad used to convert everything back to old money. So he'd be saying, who the fuck would ever pay 20 shilling for a fucking loaf of bread?
Yeah.
You just wouldn't. Now I'm going, fucking £1.9 for a fucking Mars bar. I used to get a quid for the youth club, 20p to get into the youth club, which meant I got 80p to buy sweets with. Now, at that time, a double decker was 16p, so I'd have been probably 13 or 14.
Fucking hell.
Double decker was 16p, and then things like Mars bars and Snickers and whatever were like 22p. So I always had a double decker in there because it meant like I was trying to average 20p a bar so I could get 4 bars of chocolate. Look, this is how much of a fat prick I was, mate. I need to get 4 bars of chocolates, or I might buy 3 bars of chocolates and then 2 bags of Tangy Toms, 10p a bag for the big bags. And then now I'm like, who the fuck's going to pay 50p for Space Raiders?
When penny sweets used to be a penny.
I was on about this to Tash. I can remember halfpence Mojos. And I remember when they took the halfpence out of circulation and I was having palpitations about the fact Mojos were going to go up to a penny. And I went over the shop with 2p to see whether I got charged, and I got 4. Then they started doing 2 for a penny. And then during the next few months, I went in one day with me 5 pence to get 10 mojos, and I got 5, and I was like, "Whoa, the fuck's going on?" He's like, "Now they're a penny each now," and I was like, "They're the same fucking sweet." I was like, I was like, "Now they're the fucking same sweet, you robbing cunts." He's like, "Well, they're a fucking penny each. Take it or fucking leave it, fatty."
Yeah, and Kevin said Freddo's when they used to be 5p. Fuck me, like 35p now.
See, I would never have bought a Freddo. I've never bought a Freddo from a shop. The only time I've had a Freddo is sometime between Christmas and the New Year, because they're always in the kids' selection boxes.
Yeah. Oh, but I love a chomp.
Yeah, chomp's a fire, but curly whirly's a chomp, ain't it? But messer.
Yeah.
Same thing, but I actually really enjoy a curly whirler. But I like scratchings, and I like peanuts, and I love scampi flavoured fries as well.
If you had to go sweet or savoury, which would you go for? If that was all you could have.
100% savoury.
Same.
That said, though, as I've got older, my touch changed. Where like when I was younger, I'd have ate savoury all the time. Like not when I was like a fat young teenager. I'd eat whatever I could get my fucking hands on. Sometimes it was just taking food off people that walked past me with their food, so I didn't even really know what I was eating until I put it in my mouth. But like sort of late teenager to probably 30ish, I was very much savoury. So I'd eat crisps, I'd eat peanuts, I'd eat scratchings, pork pies, sausage roll, all of that sort of shit. And I could take or leave cake or chocolate. But now actually I enjoy a cake, and I like chocolate, and I'll eat biscuits with my cup of tea or whatever. And actually I never used to bother with that shit.
Not savoury me.
I don't eat as much crisps as I used to. Because mate, before I could literally open a 6-pack of crisps and sit and eat 6 packets of crisps. And I was eating them while I was deciding what I was going to have for my tea. I'm not even joking. Like I could eat crisps for jokes.
I've done that.
I can remember being about 15, 16, and we'd been drinking in the day. We'd been and bought some Diamond White. We were over the park drinking, and I had about £2 on me. And I went to the co-op, and they'd got 24 bags of co-op crisps on special offer for $1.99. And I remember buying them and opening every 24 packets and tipping all of them into the bag that the 24 bags come into, and have a massive bag of crisps. It was like some cheese and onion in there, some vinegar, some plain, a couple of bags of smoky bacon, and it was fucking fire.
Yeah, because Neil Ayers just said Walkers are like 60p for half a bag. Like wagon wheels, even me, my mum says it as well, but even I realised how small wagon wheels are now compared to, they were actually a wheel fucking.
Mate, wagon wheels now are that small that they should sell about 12 in a packet as a packet of biscuits. And you don't want such a fat cunt having 3 or 4 of them.
Everything looks smaller.
On the side of your chair, you're like, as if I've just stepped forward. But if they've got a biscuit packet, it's not so bad.
Yeah, because everything just seems to have gone, like, air is a fucking big seller these days, because fucking Walkers do 60 gram of fucking crisps and you get them at 12.
You know what's funny? That, like, you see, like, because of people being fat and being obsessed with calorie, and they'll be like, new Quavers, only 61 calories in the bag. And I'm like, that's because there's only fucking 4 crisps in it. You've done nothing clever in the laboratory. You've done nothing clever with your baking techniques. You've put less fucking crisps in, right? Let's be honest. And you're charging us 50 pence more because they're diet.
I've seen them oven fried rather than baked. All that shit. I've seen them. Fat Fighters crisps.
You got any vaping news, Thomas?
You what?
You got any vaping news or what?
I've got loads, but we've just sort of gone onto a random show tonight. I've got loads.
Jack,
I did have a...
Chipsticks are fire. Chipsticks are mint.
What chipsticks?
You know, they're in like the white and blue bag.
Salt and vinegar out there.
Salt and vinegar. Can't eat them if you've got a mouth ulcer because they just fuck you up. The good thing about chipsticks is you can eat the bag in about 14 seconds, but then you've got 3/4 of the bag trapped around the inside of your mouth for the next 5 or 6 hours. So you can just keep fucking digging bits out the back of your teeth and carry on.
That's like them Cheetos, though. That's like them Cheetos. You're liking a minute.
Yeah, Cheetos, mate. If you finish your bag of Cheetos, you can scrape the inside of your gum and pull out half of the bag on the end of your finger and go for round 2. And then I've got a massive cavity in my back tooth which holds about 7 crisps. So I can pull that back out a bit later on and just crack on again with my bag of Winnie.
We're all off to the corner shop when the show finishes.
Yeah, see, this is the sort of shit like now. By now, my old man had just sent me down the outdoor.
Get us some fucking stuff.
Get some scratchings and some crease, and you and the kid, you get fucking 4 gobstoppers for me and my brothers and sisters.
Yeah, but like different, like this is one thing that really it don't fuck me off, but it always brings back memories when I see cereal and they don't have a fucking toy in them. When we were kids and you got a toy out of your cereal, and everyone would literally race on the morning to get downstairs to see you would open the fresh cereal and dig your fucking dirty hand in that you scratched your ass with on the night to get fucking toy out.
A cheeky wank on the night and then dipping through the cornflakes in the morning for the bread. No, because in our house there was 5 of us. My dad, if they had a box with the toy and a box without, he bought the one without the toy.
Really?
Or if they only had them with toys in, he'd open them and he'd take the toy out, and none of us had it because there weren't enough for one of all of us. And then if we'd have cornflakes for 5 weeks shopping, and then we'd all get the fucking. Do you ever remember the boat, the submarine? Used to put baking soda in it.
No.
Google it, right? Just Google cereal toys. It was a submarine. You used to put baking soda in it, and you put it in the water, and then fuck knows how, but it'd sink to the bottom. And then it'd fucking come back up to the top, and then it'd sink to the bottom, and it'd come back up to the top, but you had to fill it with baking soda.
Let's have a look. No, there's actually old school ones. Yeah, I can see it now. Cereal toy, plastic submarine. Fuck me, these are going for like 20 quid a pop.
Oh,
Swear to God.
oh,
There's one from the 1950s. You can get it on eBay. That's 6 quid. But there's a couple of old school ones. Like literally, you can tell they just come out of fucking Kellogg's, and they're going for like $20, $30. These toys. But it was a choking hazard. The classed it as, didn't they, for the toys and stuff?
What, a choking
they got rid choking hazard, wasn't it? I'm sure that's why they banned the toys in cereal.
Yeah.
You don't get them anymore. But like Jack's, I can remember Walkers having packets with actual money in.
Yeah, and when they did the blue packet.
Blue packet.
And what didn't they release the Walkers where you could have the fucking salt?
Now that there used to be I can't remember what they were called. I was on about this actually the other day, and there'd just be plain crisps, and it come with a little blue bag of salt in.
Yeah.
And I remember the posh kid in our junior school had them every day. And I said to Amon, can we have them? But they were about fucking 17 pence more than the equivalent in normal cheap fucking co-op crisps or whatever. So we never had them because they were more expensive. And I used to think, I hope you fucking overdose on salt, you little prick.
What is Jack saying? Yeah, they changed it so you have to claim the toy now online or by post. Salt and Shake, Pixie said that were called. Salt and Shake. They were fucking badass.
I never had them, ever.
Not when you got older, you're like, fuck it, reminisce.
Nah, I actually really like ready salted crisps as well. Like I would pick ready salted over flavoured crisps in some instances. I actually really like ready salted. But I can remember, like as a kid, our dad would buy them bags that have got about 48 packets in, and so you've got so many cheese and onions, so many salt and vinegar, so many beef, smoky bacon or whatever, and the plain crisp was always left last when we were younger. But I can remember like opening the bag and putting some vinegar in them out the cupboard to make them like salt and vinegar, and all it does, it makes soggy shit in your bag. And I still done it. I still used to do it, and I was like, "Fucking horrible, this is, man."
Just pouring it in fucking out bag. Fuck it.
Obviously, it's on the top ones. You eat the top layer, and your eyes are watering. It's like you've been CS gas because of the fucking vinegar fumes. And by the time you get down to the bottom, your crisps are in shit. It's like you've dug them out the back of your fucking teeth.
fucking done a bit of a reminiscent show today.
Do you remember hedgehogs?
No, what were they?
Crisps.
Nah.
Hedgehog flavored crisps.
No.
Google that. It was looking at that would have been an early 80s thing. That.
Hedgehog crisps.
And piglets.
Hedgehog crisps. Here we go. I do remember them. I remember the see-through part of the packet of crisp.
Yeah.
Flavoured crisps. It's called Children of the 80s. That's what this post says, Children of the 80s. Oh, let's have a debate. Who did it first? Walkers or Lay's?
Well, they're the same company.
Are they just different from the states, just different names?
Yeah, Lay's is like the difference between Sif and Jif. Lay's is actually their European branding. So if you go on holiday to Spain and you see Lay's crisps, they're actually Walker's crisps. It's just their European branding.
But they've got them in the States as well. America is Lay's as well.
Well, it must go from their European distribution then.
Fucking toys in fucking cereals, different size fucking chocolate bars. Fucking being all right, you know. Tudor Crisps did a chocolate flavour. Do you remember that, Paul?
What's that?
Tudor Crisps did a chocolate flavour.
No.
Piglets were tasty. Walkers is pretty much UK only. Teddy Bear Crisps were the best. Aren't they still about? Aren't they just the fucking salt and vinegar teddies? Aren't they for kids?
Me and Tash had some fish and chips last night. Some salt and vinegar fish and chips. Remember them?
They were actually fish shapes, weren't they?
Yeah, fish shapes and chips.
That's it. Pom Bears. Jack's got it on the fucking head. Pom Bears.
Yeah, I've never ate Pom Bears. They're not my thing.
Chocolate Pringles, Abby. What? No. Do you remember Tazos in your crisps? What's Tazos?
Tazo? Is it Tazo?
Are they them things that Africans sell on fucking high street these days? Have you not seen them put on your tongue? Is that what you're on about?
What?
Is that what you're on about? They're like a whistle.
Nah, the Tazo. No, I was on about. Nah, mate, I'm not that fucking old. You know, fucking blade. You put the blade of grass between your two thumbs.
And you always got one that dog had pissed on. What are them Tazos? What are they?
I don't know.
I'm gonna have a look.
Did you ever pick anyone else's chewing gum up off the floor? No. You must have been fucking posh up north.
All right, I'm gonna Tazos in crisps. They're like Pogs. They're like Pogs.
So Pogs was out of my league, mate. That's probably a 90s thing.
What do you remember? What was a toy phenomenon when you was a kid? And don't say conkers.
No, obviously, as I grew up, things like to be fair, we didn't have a lot, but what we had decent. So like when the Atari come out, my dad bought us an Atari. We had a Commodore 64 and the Spectrum ZX48, and so actually, like when we were teenagers, them things were quite big because that was just so new. But one of the biggest things that I remember through school was the yo-yos that used to come with the Coca-Cola and the Lilt and stuff like that.
I don't know that.
Google them, mate. And I swear, like we had a good 2-year yo-yo phase when I was in school, and like you used to get the ring pulls off the cans of Coke, and then you'd send them off and you get a free yo-yo, and then you could buy strings. But they'd done a silver, gold, and a white one, a silver one, a gold one, or something like that. It was 3 different weights, but they were fucking, mate, I swear, sick. Best yo-yo you could get your fucking hands on.
100 quid on eBay.
Honestly.
Swear to God, 100 quid.
Mate, I couldn't like they used to like there was a mad craze of yo-yos around that time. And I'd imagine then if I'm born in 76, I'd say they probably come out in about 1989, 1990. So I'd have been about 13 or 14. In fact, I couldn't have been. I must have been younger than that even, because I can remember like doing like you do around the world.
Yeah.
Throw the yo-yo out around the full circle, and then like, or you'd walk the dog where you'd flip it down, and then it'd stay spinning at the bottom. And then it was just like basically like throwing the yo-yo out, so it'd go out from you and then back in, and then out and back in. I can remember doing it to my nan at a fight, like being about that close to her nose. She was like, this sounds really bad, but she was riddled with arthritis, so she couldn't even move out the fucking way. So
You're such an horrible fucker.
But then I can remember the next day at school, the first one I'd done, my string broke and my yo-yo took off across the playground at about 600 miles an hour, and then backspun to me after about 15 minutes. And all I was thinking was, I'd have bust our nan's nose if that had come up. I smashed the clean in the face in me fucking Coca-Cola yo-yo.
Oh my god. We had a few things. The biggest thing when I was in school. No, it was more earlier years of high school was probably Pokemon. Pokemon was fucking huge. They even banned it at one point.
Pokemon weren't a thing for me.
Yeah, they banned it at one point, and I must have been probably about 12, 13 when it first came around. But in primary school, probably was something maybe like Pogs. I think Pogs was quite big.
Tash said she remembers Pogs, and I remember Pogs, but I was too old for them, I suppose.
They were like basically like just a design of fucking Tiddlywink.
Yeah,
I remember that. But just to think of stuff like you with that Coca-Cola, fucking you.
I had an Amiga 500 with a half megabyte upgrade. Made it 1024 instead of a 512K.
Around what was it? What was that? An Amiga?
An Amiga was a computer, and it was floppy disk. So like we had a Spectrum 48K, which was like the original one with a tiny small keyboard, and then you had a cassette. You used to load the games up through a cassette player, so you'd have all these stripes on your screen. And then like you knew that there was a tape. Obviously, the tape cassette players used to have a counter on them, so you'd know for argument's sake that Manic Miner would load when the counter got to 126. And mate, you get to 125 and crash. And you're like, you motherfucker. And you'd have to like start it all again and rewind the tape and start again. And then we had a Spectrum 128, which had a built-in cassette player. And it even might have had a built-in joystick port, because on the 48K, you had to buy like this interface to run your joysticks on.
Right.
And then you'd have to program your buttons. So if on most games you'd have like Z and X or what was it? Z and X was left and right, P and L was up and down. So then if you wanted that, if they were the things for the game, and then spacebar would be jump or fire or whatever. So then you'd have to plug your joystick into the interface. Then you'd have to put it into setup mode, and then you'd have to hold the joystick left and hold your finger on Z, and then it'd come up, and then you'd do the same with X, right and X, up and P, down and L, fire button and spacebar. Then you'd start playing your game, and everything could work apart from the fucking fire button, because you hadn't programmed properly, so you get shot to shit. But like in our house, again, because there was 5 of us, when it was our go on the computer, we used to get half an hour. So if I was playing on the computer on my own, no one was in the house, and then my brother come in and said, "Can I have a go?" My half an hour started from then. Then at half an hour, Stephen would go on it. And then because I'm in the room, I'm on it after half an hour. Then if my other brother come in, he was on after me. So he'd got an hour to wait.
Fucking hell.
And then if you went out the room, you lost your space. So then what I'd do is, when it was my go, I'd get to like 28 minutes, and then I'd say, I'm going to change games, and I'd turn the computer off, because it'd take like you'd spend a good 20 minutes getting a game to load. Just to be a freak. So then you'd have like, then you'd have alliances, like, so Stephen would say to me, if I was on after Stephen, and then Stephen was on after me, And then my brother come in. Stephen would say to me, if you leave it on, I'll leave it on for you. So then we get our full half an hour. And then before Craig got on it, Stephen would switch it off and go, actually, I think I'm going to play a different game now. And then they'd be like, Dad, he's just turned the computer off. I'll fucking smash that fucking computer. Always drama over the fucking computer. And then we got an Amiga and it took floppy disk and it loaded in like 2 minutes. It was like revolutionary. The graphics were a million times better, but still shit by comparison. You could plug a joystick in and use the fucking joystick straight off the get-go. Cutting edge shit, mate. But I can remember on the Spectrum, like it was obviously like a DOS. There weren't no Windows-based systems. There's like a DOS operating system on it. So when you turn it on, it's just got like the fucking cursor flip flap, and you could do like 10 print fucking summit, and then you could do 20, go to 10, press enter, and it would just scroll squares across your screen. And I used to do that and like think, yeah, check me out, man. I'm a fucking badass computer programmer. Or you could do like 10 print, 20 print Steve, 30 go to 20, these really basic commands, and then it just put Steve across the screen in colours. And then like we learned how to do like 5 lines of code instead of 3, so you could get it to go diagonally and change red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. And like thought that we were like what Bill Gates became.
But that's probably that was probably like the first ever sort of learning of doing anything like that, coding and that. That's definitely got to be there.
I can't even remember who taught. Stephen come in one day and he was like, "Yeah, watch this, man." And he was like, got Steve on the computer, and everyone's like, "Whoa, fucking powerful!" And our mom's going, "Bloody hell, I can't believe that tiny little machine there, and it's clever stuff. Oh my god, I don't know what will the kids do tomorrow." And I was probably about 18 or 19, maybe, when I bought my PlayStation 1. And that just blew my mind because I went like literally from being, say, a 12, 13-year-old. And then all the consoles came out, which was like the fucking.
Did you never have the Mega Drive?
I never had a Mega Drive. We had a Nintendo with Mario.
Was that one the NES on it?
Yeah, I had the NES, and actually I bought that years later when after it was like a massive thing. Some of my pals had got Dreamcasts and all them sort of things, and actually I was out fucking about then. I was out robbing cars while they were driving them in the fucking computer.
Yeah, because the NES, sorry, the N64 and the Dreamcast came out sort of pretty much the same time.
I remember like this whole hype around it. But then when I was about 19, a pal come over to my mum's and bought his PlayStation 1 with him, and I was that blown away by the advancements over that previous fucking 6 years. I blew my savings on one, and I went and bought a second-hand one with 10 games, and all I wanted to make sure I'd got was Crash Bandicoot, and I had F1, and then I bought a couple of like I was always preferred car games over anything.
Mine were Ridge. I think mine were first sort of game on the PlayStation 1 was something like Ridge Racer or something like that. It was definitely like old school game. I remember Crash Bandicoot, and then maybe Spyro. I don't know if that came out after or that may have come out then. But my sort of first introduction was to the Game Gear? Was that the handheld one?
Yeah.
I remember my auntie having one, and I'm not fucking joking. She must have been holding the cunt like fucking that. And the screen were about 2 inches, and fucking rest of it were fucking massive.
Well, I'll tell you, let me see if I can find what I had when I was a youth, mate. The Donkey Kong fucking handheld games, they were fire.
The Sega Saturn was first ever console to play DVDs. See, I must have been Sega Saturn. I must have been 7, probably. I wasn't very old, and I must have been about 10 when PlayStation 1 came out. I'm going to check when the PlayStation 1 came out. Because I remember my mum putting it in the dining room, and we were the same as you. You know, we used to have to take it in turns and fucking scrabbling. I want to go computer. Fuck off! I've only been on 10 minutes. You've been there fucking 4 hours. You liar.
More screen sharing there.
Yeah.
So that there it was fucking wicked. And you started off here, and you had to go up the ladder, up the ladder, and then when you got up that ladder, you appeared on this screen down here. Then you that hook there used to drop down. You'd swing onto the hook, and it'd pick you up, and then you had to go and rescue this bird here. But then all the time there was shit falling down and whatever. Like I had that. I don't even. All I've put in there is Donkey Kong split screen 1980. I'm guessing it probably would have been early 80s, 82, 83 maybe. I was only young when I had it. But they brought out all these different ones then. And they were all Nintendo.
Do you ever play the fishing game? Can you remember the fishing game? With the rod, the controller. Can you remember that? I can't remember what that device is. I can't remember what console that was, but if anybody can tell me, I'm sure it was something like the fucking. It might have been the Mega Drive. No, it must have been Nintendo. It wasn't Sega. It was Nintendo.
I've never played it. I've seen it.
PlayStation 1, when did that come out?
I reckon the PlayStation 1 come out in. Let me just have a think first. I reckon I was 19. I reckon 1994/5.
4, bang on 4. I've just seen the can you remember the memory sticks used to buy? 1 fucking megabyte fucking memory sticks they were.
Yeah, big fat things.
Fucking 1994, I'd have been fucking hell 6. Be 6 when that first came out.
I was 18.
You had the proper games though. I fucking jumped straight into that. You had the proper games because what was the one that was attached to the actual console?
I don't know, but we got 5 minutes left, and then I'm going. The Screamugger Black Rocks. My show's not.
What was the game console where it was joined in? I remember my mum telling me about it.
The
Atari. Like, is that what it was?
The Atari, mate. We had the Atari back in. I think that probably came out in 1978, maybe 79. So I'd have been 3. I think it was before the 80s it came out.
72.
So it came out in 72. I can remember us having one from when I was born. Like, I can remember an Atari being in the house right from when I was little. And they had a joystick that was a stick with 1 red button on it. And then they had another one that looked like about so big. And it just had a circle on it. And when you turn the circle, it just took a paddle up the side of your screen. So then you'd have one and I'd have one. And you used to play paddle. If you Google Atari paddle tennis, you had a paddle this side and a paddle that side. And you could make yours go up and down. And there was just a ball going. And then your paddle got smaller. And then we had paddle tennis and we had Space Invaders, which was just traditional.
Proper old school. Right, well, if you're out of here in 4 minutes' time, I better get to fucking status of the week if I can fucking get on Facebook. But I have honestly wrote up a full fucking show. We've just gone on a random one, so that's been fun. I'm not gonna lie. And now I've got to sit here and go through your statuses because we've been that one of that dog. Them 2 dogs is fucking vile, by the way. I was gonna message you saying, please don't get banned before Banter. No, the status of the week was yesterday, and it goes, I get breastfeeding is perfectly natural, but why post pictures on Insta, etc.? Taking a shit is perfectly natural. Where does that stem from? Where does that status stem from? Did you see someone getting the?
I was clicking through Instagram, and then some bird got a picture of a kid hanging off a nipple, feeding it. It was to do with someone had shared it from International Split Arse Day, whatever it was called.
You mean when I told you when International Men's Day is 19th of November and everyone was fucking going ape shit?
But I was literally like, I said to Tasha before, I get the, like, you've got the same people who go, oh my God, not all black men stab people. Who go, it's perfectly fine to fit. I was in Asda once with the kids shopping on a Sunday, me and the two younger girls. And there was a woman walking around the shop breastfeeding a kid, right, which is perfectly fine. But then when she put him over her shoulder to wind him on this shoulder, her left tit's hanging out. And I'm like, I get that you're feeding the kid. Put his fucking dinner away, right? So I'm not about like, oh, you shouldn't breastfeed in public. I get that if they're hungry and they need feeding, but then I do think you don't have to be like all like, oh yes, I'm a breastfeeding vegan and I'll get my tits out wherever I want. Just fucking feed the kid and just do it discreetly, man. I'm not saying you have to go in on a dirty toilet and feed the kid, but you certainly don't have to sit in Asda's cafe with both tits out just in case it feels like swapping. No, Tasha had tops where you could literally wear your top. The wicked like if he's just having sexy time, she can just get her tits out without even undressing. She could literally sit on the set here. You could be on one of our chairs talking while she's feeding the kid, and you know she's feeding the kid, but it's not like her tits are out. You know what I mean? It's just like she's still doing what she's got to do, and the kid's getting fed. Because sometimes I'll see someone breastfeeding, I'm like, but that little cunt move his fucking head out of the way. Why if you took pictures and put this on Instagram, really? You breastfeed, it's natural. But that's what loads of people say, it's perfectly natural. And I was like, taking a shit is perfectly natural. If I posted a picture of my arsehole with half a shit hanging out of it, people would be up in fucking arms. Saying, why are you doing that? Well, it's just natural. It's natural to have a shit.
I won't lie, we have had a conversation where I've been having a shit before.
Yeah, mate, we might well have been right. But if you fucking says to me, well, mate, check out the size of this and then flip the camera around and you've got a fucking 14-inch log sticking out the water like a fucking broken branch in a string, I'd fucking cut the call off and stack you. You're a fucking big man.
Fucking viewfinder of a fucking submarine.
Fucking hell, Paul, take a picture of it, send it to me against one of them fucking the Helix 30cm rulers so I can gauge the fucking size of it. Use the 30cm rulers a gauge. It's 14 inches long now.
Shut up, proof. Right, well, we're 1 minute past fucking 10.
I'm out of here. I've got a program to watch, man. People, thanks for tuning in. Go down the off license and get yourself some munchies.
Thanks ever so much.
We should be back next week on both platforms.
Doing vape stuff.
We might even talk about vaping next week, possibly.
Yeah, we might get into vaping. Not my fault. Don't blame me.
It's what it is, mate. It is what it is.
We've enjoyed it, guys. Thank you ever so much. Remember to like and subscribe and share the channel. We'll see you next week.
Back on, man. You look like you're on chemo when you ain't got your jacket on. See you later.
Good night, all.